This is a weird one. Just a few weeks ago, there was reports of individuals who were victims to an alleged street takeover in, I believe it was Compton. The individuals were 18 years old and 20 years old. And they were stated to have potentially participated in this street takeover before driving away, allegedly running a red light, and making impact with a silver Nissan, driven by somebody who was on their way home before colliding with these two individuals. One person was completely ejected from the car. And while they've yet to actually confirm if the crash was a direct correlation to the street takeover that was happening very, very close nearby, late at night, it's enough to draw even more negative attention to the aftermarket automotive community and starts to beg the question on just what the hell are street takeovers and side meets and what is even happening out there. I'm Alex, Alex.Martini with 2 underscores at the end, and today we're gonna be talking about a somewhat new topic in the current automotive space, street takeovers. Now, it is quite an interesting way to start a video, and I promise it won't be that serious. But man, the news crushes it and making me not want to turn this frown right side up because it's not good news. Either way, as we talk about this, drop a comment on your thoughts with street takeovers, as I'm responding to pretty much every single comment out there on YouTube right now. And if you do enjoy automotive content, news, and education, be sure to subscribe. All right, back to whatever the DC movie shit this is, okay? Street takeovers, side meets, or side shows, or whatever it is that you want to call them, is something that's actually been around a lot longer than most people think. It's been around for about 4 decades or so, with it gaining more popularity than ever before in about the past 5 years. It got spearheaded in the last 2. A street takeover initially was intended to demonstrate people's expression through the use of modified vehicles. It's about as official as I can make it. Back in the 80s, it was held in every vacant parking lot, intersection, and can actually be traced all the way back to the East Bay region of San Francisco's Bay Area. Over time, you'd see these shows start to pop up in Oakland, California, and other prominent areas where local music venues, clubs, and hangout spots were common enough. You can literally trace this. What's crazy enough about street shows or side shows or street takeovers is that they aren't new, and they've been traced pretty damn tactically to their home. Eastmont Hall and Foothill Square parking lot are names that come to mind when you hear the street takeover origination location, okay? And that's pretty much where they did start. People would bring their modified cars, rip donuts, make a ton of noise, do some ghost riding, and blast music until they either got kicked out by the cops or got kicked out by the cops. Over time, side shows became more popular because they were just typically found around clubs too. If you wanted to get into a club but you were under 21, you often found yourself spending your nights at the side shows located right outside the club, doing things that you probably wouldn't tell your mother. Over time, the pastime moved from just Oakland to places like Kansas City and Detroit. And then got even more attention and love by the hip hop community, with rappers like E40 and others talking about it in their music. I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to be like, hip hop's ruining our youth. I don't think that's the case, okay? It's a bit far, all right? But the romanticizing didn't essentially help the activity, as it got progressively more and more dangerous with more people attending the event and wanting to kind of be in the limelight, because that's the whole thing. It's literally a limelight. And you could hear sideshows mentioned in albums like Kill My Landlord. Don't do that, that's a bad thing. I'm a Raider is another one, I think. And so is literally the song called Sideshow. It's an actual song. It was by 415, I think it was. And so this is all to admit that in terms of a sideshow or street takeover or street event really isn't anything new, and they pop up extremely fast. Car clubs, groups, leaders, and just people will organize these things over forums like Facebook, Instagram, Discord, and Snapchat in a matter of 30 minutes, and will completely take over a location for sometimes 30 seconds all the way up to 30 minutes, depending on the location, the size, and who's orchestrating it. And it's kind of like a rite of passage. The premise of it is simple too. Show up, lock down the area with people in cars, and then enter a car-style mosh pit of noise, burnout, screaming, and ghost riding until either somebody gets hurt, people freak out, or the cops get called. So why is a street takeover any different from that of the illegal street racing that we could all probably argue is a bit romanticized, it's a bit loved but JDM enthusiasts that are looking through the lens of the clubs like Midnight Club overseas that were doing something pretty illegal and pretty dangerous. You had the Hashiriya run their cars through expressways and highways, driving round and round at high rates of speed on narrow winding roads, being just as dangerous, probably more so. We all love what Initial D represented and the people that live that lifestyle in real life, and that's all over TikTok, it's all over YouTube. So are sideshows and street takeovers really any different? It'd be easy to look at that and say, well, no. But I think it is. I think it's very, very different. You see, street takeovers and street racing both utilize vehicles.
Yeah, no shit, honey!
God, I'm smart. But I think their intent is a bit different. What I mean by that is street racing is something which I don't condone like at all, but the activity was done because of the automotive community and the activity of racing. It was an automotive focused event. You're an automotive enthusiast. Sideshows, I'm not so sure of. It seems to be a bit more of just like a hooligan and causing a ruckus and saying the system versus saying, I want to race my car because I want to be a race car driver. The foundation of the activities are different, and as such, I think you're talking to two different groups of people that have a similar, maybe activity of owning a car. Similar, but different. Even if a car enthusiast finds their way to a sideshow, I'm not sure that's why sideshows exist. You know, for an enthusiast. I think they speak to people who are simply rebellious and don't mind putting themselves and others in danger because that's just what they want to do. Is that a hard way of saying car enthusiasts are not street takeover enthusiasts? Because I don't think they're the same people. If you're participating in the activity, at least make it so that the only person you can injure is yourself. Because if you're gonna be a dumbass, you should be the only dumbass that has to face the consequences of what you do. And even then, you're probably gonna piss off your parents if you live. And even then, I tell you not to do it because it's not safe. Sideshows and street takeovers, unfortunately, are featured in areas where there are other people. This is a public road. All right, and even with the organization of people locking down the intersection to try and keep the space clear, it doesn't stop the crazy behavior when the move group goes to a different location after getting shut down. And that's actually where a lot of the accidents, damage, and sometimes incidents actually happen. It's from one space to the next space. You wanna ghost ride and like fall out of the car? Go for it, okay? I've toasted clutches and blown up motors trying to brag too. I don't really care. But the moment you're doing that towards a town and country with a family of 5 in it that's just trying to get home after going to the old country buffet, you're no longer being enthusiast. You're no longer just being rebellious. You're no longer saying F the system. You're kind of just being an asshole. Sideshows and street takeovers are a thing that I'm not sure anyone would publicly support. At least put their name and face behind it and say, yeah, I want to do that. But they are nevertheless a part of the culture of rebellionism that seems to surround the younger generation of hip hop and sometimes newer automotive enthusiasts. But I just don't think those automotive enthusiasts stay. The activity itself isn't gonna go away anytime soon either, and just complaining about it probably won't do anything. So do I like doing an occasional burnout and driving quick? Sure. Should enthusiasts take responsibility when they do things that could injure themselves? Also, yes. And when you are speeding, which no one is innocent of, you should probably understand the magnitude of what risk you have if you hit something or someone, which is why nobody should ever condone it. It doesn't matter how many fines they put up for spectators or how many fines they give to the people that are orchestrating these events.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
The real pain comes from when they do something and it injures somebody else. It just kind of sucks, you know? Like, go find and go, I don't know, go play video games. Go to an autocross event. Sideshows and street takeovers, I'm still not convinced are automotive enthusiasts. Like I said, they're just individuals expressing themselves as a counterculture in today's day and age. That's my thought, you can take it or leave it. I understand it, but I don't support it. The illegal activities that go along with this sort of stuff can't be compared to that of international street racing because the group of individuals are fundamentally different. But hey, what do you think about sideshows and street takeovers? Let me know below, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Alex, Alex.Martini with 2 underscores at the end, and if you're thinking about attending a street takeover, just go find a Kmart, do a burnout there, get your IG reel fix that you need before heading to the new Batman movie and wondering how they cast that guy to do the movie for 3.5 hours long. Or go see Top Gun, all right? And then go try to get your pilot's license. Do something else. Don't risk the families that are on the same public roads as you, please. Best thing about Wisconsin, country roads, biggest damage, probably a cow. But even then, don't do it. We'll see you later. Peace.